This is the 7 o'clock news. Good evening, I'm Raymond Goh. The dateline 7th of July. An initial allocation of 400 million ringgit has been set aside for Johor's second port. The Deputy Prime Minister has pledged continued backing for Felda settlers. And now the news in full. Plans for Johor's second port have been approved in principle. An initial allocation of 400 million ringgit has been allocated in the 6th Malaysia Plan for the project. Johor Menteri Besar Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin spoke to TV3 in this exclusive interview.
Pasir Gudang, Johor's first port, maintains a consistent level, averaging 17% in the past 13 years since it began operations in 1977. From less than 500,000 tons in 1977, the port's handling capacity rose to the current level of 10 million tons. The port's market share of all principal ports in the peninsula rose to 21% last year. The port handled a total of 19,020 equivalent units during the first 3 months of this year, showing an impressive jump of more than 40% compared to last year. Johor Menteri Besar Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin says Johor needs another port to relieve the pressure on Pasir Gudang.
Dasarnya kerajaan negeri memang dah meminta supaya kerajaan persekutuan menyegerakan rancangan ini. Sebab pelabuhan Pasir Gudang yang ada ni dianggap hanya dapat menampung jumlah kargo laut bagi tahun 1997. Kalau lebih daripada itu boleh, tetapi akan pasti menghadapi kesesakan dan ini boleh menjejaskan efisiensi pelabuhan ini.
According to United Engineers Malaysia, which made the original proposal, the port will be sited at Sungai Pulai. It will be the extension to the proposed second link between Johor and Singapore, which will make the area a worthwhile site for a major township. The township will complement Johor Bahru's role as an administrative centre. But according to Tan Sri Muhyiddin, the site has yet to be decided and the final say will come from the federal government. He said the federal government is also studying the possibility of privatising the construction as it involves a huge financial layout.
The government will continue to improve Felda settlements and help settlers to earn higher wages. Deputy Prime Minister Encik Ghaffar Baba said Felda settlers should make the most of opportunities available to them. He said settlers also need not worry about deductions on their salaries. Launching the national-level Settlers' Day celebrations in Jempol Negeri Sembilan, Encik Ghaffar said Felda only make deductions for the mandatory payments. Such payments are for opening up of land, quit rent, survey fees and dues for replanting oil palm. He said it has discontinued optional payments such as donations or benevolent contributions to welfare organizations. The Deputy Prime Minister said it's up to settlers themselves to decide what to do with their money. He said if they want bigger take-home pay, they should manage their incomes more carefully. Encik Ghaffar, who is also National and Rural Development Minister, said the government is still working out projects to boost settlers' incomes. This is one reason why the government cannot hand over administration of schemes to settlers, as it fears they will fall prey to middlemen. The Selangor state government suspects the theft of sand and soil from government-owned land could be an inside job. Selangor Menteri Besar Tan Sri Haji Muhammad Taib said a well-organized syndicate is behind the theft, which has cost the government millions of ringgit in lost revenue.
Puchong is one area where large-scale theft of sand and clay had been reported. Sand is much in demand for construction. This morning, the Menteri Besar led a team of enforcement officers to try to catch the culprits red-handed. The syndicate is supposed to be especially active on weekends. There were roadblocks to check passing vehicles. This time, when the authorities came, the area was almost deserted. The lorries that passed through had neither sand nor clay. Tan Sri Haji Muhammad said the culprits had been tipped off. No one else but the authorities planned and carried out the operation. Tan Sri Haji Muhammad said someone among the authorities leaked the information to the syndicate. He said the ringleaders may be using walkie-talkies to find out when the enforcement officers were coming. Last Sunday, 11 lorry drivers ferrying sand were questioned but later released. Next week, the Menteri Besar will hold a meeting with the Land and State Enforcement Departments to decide on the next course of action. Under the Land Code, the penalty for stealing government land is a 10,000 ringgit fine or jail or both.
The fund set up by the Sinchu Jitpo, a Mandarin daily, and rediffusion for the Sungai Buloh fire tragedy victims has so far netted in 700,000 ringgit. It is believed to be the biggest amount collected by the private sector for the fire victims.
21 heads of families affected by the fire received the donation checks this afternoon at a brief ceremony in Kuala Lumpur. The donations were presented by the Selangor Chinese Association Chairman, Encik Lim Giok Chan, and Johor Bahru Chinese Association Chairman, Datuk Kwek Ho Yao. Each beneficiary received between 4,000 to 25,000 ringgit. All of them had lost at least one family member in the blaze in early May.
Pulau Pinang DAP Chairman Encik Kapal Singh is the party's candidate for the PRI by-election scheduled for July 27th. DAP Secretary General Encik Lim Kit Siang made the announcement in Pulau Pinang. The PRI seat became vacant after DAP Assemblyman Encik S. Asam Ali resigned on May 29th. The Yugoslav army hints of a withdrawal from Slovenia. More about it after this break.
Oh, but of course I have a beautiful body. I spread my tail too quickly.
Nothing's too quick for the Sony Handycam. With its 0.2-second recording quick start, you'll never miss out on the action. And its unique precision CCD brings out even minute details with flying colors. It even comes with 8x zoom and hi-fi stereo. The Sony Handycam TR75E, also available TR45E.
It's a Sony.
Welcome back. The Yugoslav army has said it does not want a war with breakaway Slovenia and hinted that it may soon withdraw from the Northern Republic. General Jelko Kadivjevic, Defense Minister-in-Chief of the Army High Command, said the army could have mounted an offensive to bring Slovenia to its knees. General Kadivjevic said the Federal Army is patient and wants to find a peaceful solution to the issue. Slovenia, meanwhile, has rejected a federal demand that the army and federal customs be allowed to return to Slovenia's border with Hungary, Yugoslavia and Italy by midday today. US President George Bush has sent a message to Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev saying he wants to speed up efforts to conclude a strategic arms reduction treaty. The accord could be signed at a summit in Moscow as early as this month. Failure to conclude the START treaty under negotiations in Geneva will delay the projected US-Soviet summit due this year. Technical issues reported to be holding up the treaty, which will slash American and Soviet long-range nuclear arsenals. Newly elected ANC President Nelson Mandela said the world community must continue to apply sanctions on South Africa. Mandela indicated the ANC will be more flexible in dealing with national issues. Mandela was closing the ANC's first legal conference stage in South Africa in 30 years. Winnie Mandela was elected to the Policy-Making National Executive Committee. Thai police found assorted animals, including several bears' heads and 48 paws when they raided a farm and restaurant in Samut Prakan near Bangkok. A month-long festival and revelry at one of the world's best-preserved tropical forests. The story after this break. Stay tuned.
There's a new day dawning. You feel it in the air. The world is growing closer. You see it everywhere.
Cathay Pacific, helping the new world of international travelers arrive in better shape.
There's a new world, there's a new world on Cathay.
Visitors to Taman Negara are being treated to a month-long celebration. July Fest Taman Negara 91, held in conjunction with the Wildlife Department's Golden Jubilee, promises every visitor a memorable experience. Mahathir Lokman has the story.
At 9 a.m. and 2 p.m., the sleepy hollow village of Kuala Tembeling on the banks of Sungai Tembeling is a hive of activity when visitors to the Taman Negara gather to take a scheduled boat ride to the park's headquarters in Kuala Tahan. The scenic beauty of the vast unspoiled jungle and fresh air makes every visitor too occupied to even think of the length of the 60-kilometer, 2.5-hour journey. The Taman Negara Resort, opened in September last year, was formerly the government rest house. Apart from the other two lodgings available on the other side of the river, Taman Negara Resort offers its visitors a variety of accommodation. These range from luxurious suites and deluxe non-aircon and aircon rooms. Hostel style and camping facilities are available for those who prefer to rough it out. Daily activities have been organized for visitors, including children's painting competition on wildlife, the fastest tent pitching contest, and a blow-pot competition. More physical activities include water sports, shooting the rapids, and visits to the hides and Aborigine settlements. There is also a batik drawing demonstration by artists from Rosli Khalid Designs. If you just want to be alone and appreciate the flora and fauna of the park, take a walk in the jungle or go for a boat ride. In the evenings, visitors can savor the various delicacies of the state of Pahang and be treated to a cultural extravaganza which includes a performance by the Orang Asli. Kuala Tahan is also the gateway for those interested to climb the highest mountain in Peninsular Malaysia, Gunung Tahan. The 150 million years old Taman Negara, which is 4,343 square kilometers wide, was gazetted as a forest reserve in 1939. The park is closed to visitors from mid-November to mid-January due to the monsoons.
The month-long July Fest activities at Taman Negara Resort is jointly organized by the Wildlife Department and the Tourist Development Corporation. Mahathir Lokman at Taman Negara for the 7 o'clock news.
A welfare foundation has given a 74-year-old man in Kajang, Selangor a new home and something to look forward to in his twilight years.
Encik Mahmud Yakin, better known as Pak Mahmud, has no relatives and lives alone. He survives on handouts from neighbours and receives aid from the welfare department. Since he first came to live in the village 25 years ago, his home was a ramshackle hut with a dirt floor. But the Selangor Anti-Poverty Foundation has given him a lot to cheer about. At a cost of 2,000 ringgit and the help of neighbours, the Rukun Tetangga, the police and volunteers from University Pertanian Malaysia, a new house was built for Pak Mahmud. The Gotong Royong project is part of the foundation's scheme to develop some of the poorest villages in the state. The scheme has so far identified 230 families as needing immediate attention. This year, 31 families have benefited from the project. The foundation hopes to get more volunteers to build houses for the poorest families.
Mount Pinatubo exploded again, and the cost of damages estimated after almost a month of eruption is more than the damages caused by Philippines' powerful earthquake last year. Damages to public infrastructure are estimated at more than $530 million against $350 million caused by the 1990 earthquake. Pinatubo's eruptions have killed more than 340 people, made thousands homeless, and crippled the most important U.S. military facilities in Southeast Asia. And now for the weather report. Tomorrow morning, rain is expected over the peninsula except the east coast states. Showers over Sabah, especially the west coast, the interiors, and Kudat. Elsewhere, it's fair. In the evening, scattered thunderstorms over all states in the peninsula, Sabah, and Kuching, Semarahan, Sri Aman, and Sibu in Sarawak. Now let's glance through the weather forecast for some popular destinations.
For more options to Europe, fly Thai.
Sports news when we return. Stay with us.
From the the Salem Grand Slam, the 1991 Wimbledon Championship, the ultimate title in world-class tennis.